What is up, YouTube? Dylan Pearson here, and today I have 10 Facebook advertising tips and strategies to help you out. These tips are key to launching profitable ads. They're strategies that I use every single day, whether I'm launching new products, a new brand, or I'm trying to scale a currently profitable brand. They work great, so I'm super excited to share them with you. If you're new here, I drop videos like this 2 times a week, always super high quality, so make sure to subscribe with notifications on. And also, if you can do me the huge favor of smashing the like button, it really helps out my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and jump into this video. So the first tip that I have for you guys is use interest targeting along with audience insights. There's a lot of people that have been doing interest targeting, and I feel like it's still the most popular way for people to get started with Facebook ads. But a huge mistake people are making is they're not utilizing audience insights. So what I usually do is I launch 7 to 10 ad sets using interest targeting. So just duplicate one ad set, switch up the interest in it, and do that 7 to 10 times. And then after you've spent some money on it, analyze the best performing interests. And what I mean by the best performing interest, it could be if one is making sales, if it's profitable. It could also be, even if it's not making sales, if it's getting some initiate checkouts in the situation of e-commerce, or you're just getting a really good click-through rate. You have to analyze what's working best in comparison to the other ad sets. So if none of them are making sales, look at what is the best metrics in a single or 1 to 2 ad sets. Take those ad sets, drop them into audience insights, and then once you've done that, you'll see a section that appears just like this. It says page likes, and you see this affinity, and this is how likely the people in your interests are like in similarity to the people in these other interests. So if you take your winning interests and you put them in and you can analyze it like this, you'll find other interests with people just like the ones that are giving you good results. So test out these new interests that you found, and hopefully you start to profit. I have a video that covers this specific topic in depth. I'll put a link in the description, so definitely check that out if this is something you're not currently doing. Tip number 2, run a PPE campaign before your conversion campaigns. This is very specific to e-com, but it also works with lead generation and other brands in general. So what you do is you launch a PPE campaign targeting the 4 main countries: USA, Australia, United Kingdom, and Canada. The reason I do this is going to drive the highest quality traffic, and honestly, in all the situations that I've scaled brands, these are the 4 main countries that we find profitability in. There are some other ones like New Zealand and occasionally like Brazil and whatnot, Germany and stuff like that. But the issue with those is it's a much smaller scale, so it is harder to scale into those. The 4 main countries are going to be the ones you want to launch a PPE campaign targeting initially. Once you've hit 100,000 impressions with that single ad set, pause it. Usually this is anywhere from $50 to $100 in ad spend. Personally, that's what I see. So once you hit that 100,000 impression mark, pause it. Go into your custom audiences and create a 95% video viewer custom audience. Once it populates, you should have anywhere from 5,000 plus people in that custom audience. So go ahead and create lookalike audiences. 0 to 1%, 1 to 2%, and 2 to 5% is usually what I use at this stage. And then launch your conversion campaigns or whatever type of conversion you're using against those new audiences. And what this is going to do is you've given Facebook enough data to really try to figure out who are the people that are interested in your business. Then you take that custom audience filled with the people interested in your content, and you let Facebook find everybody else that is very similar to those people. And usually this results in a profitable campaign right from the start. Number 3, take advantages of large audience. Facebook currently said about, I want to say they released the news statement about a month ago saying that they prefer larger audiences. The bigger, the better. I only use a minimum of 2 million people in an ad set. I don't go smaller than that any longer. So what I do is if I find a couple of interests that are really intriguing that I think might have potential, I stack those in a single ad set. So I just add them all together until my potential reach is greater than 2 million people. The days of the tiny audiences like 100,000, 50,000, or even anything less than 2 mil are really coming to an end. That's not to say you can't be profitable, but what you're going to see is really high CPMs, and it's just going to cost you a lot more money since you're not giving Facebook options. So larger the audience, you're going to get cheaper CPMs, lower cost per clicks, and overall more results. Facebook is placing a huge emphasis on this going forward. So start trying to find large audiences that you can use to advertise to. Tip number 4, do not use the engaged shopper targeting. 2015, this was where it was, man. You could launch an ad set just with engaged shoppers and become profitable. It was a great idea back then. Not everyone was utilizing it, but today it's super expensive and it's filled with other people just like me who will steal your winning product because it's going to come through on our news feed. Basically, there's ways to make yourself appear as an engaged shopper to Facebook. So Facebook is going to show you all those ads that people just like you are launching, and I can spy on them and see what's working and then utilize it for my personal gain. So don't use engaged shoppers. The way that you do this now is when you select your conversion objective at the top of your ad set and you select purchase, Facebook is going to find those people most likely to purchase. So there's really no reason to use engaged shoppers any longer. And I actually just ran a test the other day. I launched an ad set with engaged shoppers and compared it to my other ad sets that weren't using engaged shoppers, and I was getting like CPMs of $40+ where the other ones were anywhere from $12 to $25. So it's just way overpriced. I didn't get any results from it, so don't use it. If you're watching tutorials from 2016, 2017, guys, Facebook changes in terms of advertising. It changes like every month, so you constantly have to be using the new strategies out there, and engaged shoppers is like 4 years old, so don't use it. Number 5, use about 4 ads per ad set. So the way that you can kind of like view this is you have a campaign, you have multiple ad sets, and instead of just 2 ads per ad set, you should have 4 of them. And the way that I do mine, I have 2 video ads, 1 image ad, and then 1 dynamic catalog ad or a carousel ad. The reason that this is really, really good is it allows Facebook to place an ad in front of more people at a specific time. So let's say someone has a slow internet connection, and Facebook knows this. So they're not going to put a video ad in front of them because they're not going to watch it. It's not going to load. They're gonna want to put an image ad or a dynamic ad in front of them because it'll load quick and it doesn't require all of that data. Also, there's certain situations where video ads just don't work or an image ad might not work. So you really give Facebook the opportunity to put the right type of ad in front of the right person. And this is also going to give you lower cost per 1,000 impressions, just overall cheaper cost for you and a cheaper cost per result. So start using 4 ads per ad set. 4 for me has been the sweet spot. Obviously, test this out yourself. You might find maybe 6 or 7 is the best for you, but 4 has consistently proven to be good for me. Number 6, scale with CBO. So CBO, campaign budget optimization, is going to become mandatory here in September. Until then, I've still been doing my testing on an ad set level, but all of my scaling has moved into CBO. The way that I do this is I duplicate my 4 winning ad sets with a similar cost per result into a CBO campaign. A similar cost per result for me is within $3 to $4 of one another. So if I'm getting a $12 cost per purchase, I would duplicate other ones around $9 up to $15 to $16 into one CBO campaign. The budget should be $100 times the amount of ad sets. So if I have 4 winning ad sets, it'd be a $400 campaign budget. I then let it run for 3 days, and after 3 days, if it's profitable, I raise the budget by 25%. And then I'll analyze another 3 days. If it's not as profitable, if I see a drop in results, I'll just scale it back down 25%. So that's how I launch my my scaling campaigns now. And as you see this, I'm sure you've seen this graph. It's been out for a few months now. But basically, what they're saying is with CBO, in real time, they can analyze who's most likely to buy your product at that current time. So you're going to get more conversions because they'll be able to spend more on the ad set that's most likely to perform the best in that current situation. Tip number 7, utilize email lists. This is something I don't see enough people doing, and it's a huge part of profitability and something that you're really missing out on if you're not doing it. So what you need to do is import your email list into a custom audience. To do this, you just go to custom audiences, hit create new, and then you can select your email list. If you're using something like MailChimp or Aweber, you can export that email list into a CSV file. Just upload it to the tab in Facebook, and it's going to find everyone that matches those emails on Facebook, place them in an audience for you. And then once you have that, if your custom audience is greater than 1,000, go ahead and create those lookalike audiences. If it's less than 1,000, you can still create those lookalike audiences. But from my experience, it's not going to be as accurate. Like, it's not going to be as good as if you have more data, more than 1,000 people in that audience. 1,000 is just kind of the number that I set for myself prior to launching these lookalikes. So if this is something that you have greater than 1,000, definitely launch lookalikes. If not, go ahead and test them out still. But you just might not have as good success and results as if you had greater than 1,000. So email lists have been some of my most profitable audiences. Definitely use them. Tip number 8, utilize the breakdown tool. So when you have greater than 50 plus results, start to use the breakdown tool. The reason I say a minimum of 50 plus results is you really need a certain amount of data to make an educated decision and really break it down. So if you don't have enough, it could be inconsistent. You could be getting played. Like, it might not be accurate. It might change over time. So really let the data build up before you use it. If you're going for purchases, I recommend waiting till you have 50 plus purchases prior to doing this. Honestly though, for my current situation, I don't even touch the breakdown tool until I'm doing like 100 to 200 purchases every week. Just something to think about, and even every day sometimes, depending on the product itself. So the breakdown tool is incredibly useful, but wait till you have enough data. And specifically, this is you have to take in consideration what your objective is. If your objective is lead generations, maybe you don't have to wait till 50 plus results, but just wait till you have enough data. Pay attention to gender, age, and placement. These, for me, have been the most important aspects of the breakdown tool, and you can really see what's performing the best. So in a lot of situations, I find differences on an ad set and even an ad level. So I see that videos sometimes perform better in the newsfeed, the marketplace suggested videos, and sometimes I don't even run it on Instagram just because it performs horrible. But then I launch an image and I see that performs better on Instagram or even on audience network. So stuff's going to perform differently in different situations, on different placements and different ages. So what I then do is I duplicate my winning ad sets. I look at the breakdown tool and I start narrowing it down and sniper targeting that audience. So if I see that ages 35 to 44 are performing really well on the newsfeed, I'll break out that audience, narrow it down to those specific things, and I'll test it. I'll see how it works. So number 8, use the breakdown tool. It's super powerful and something that you should be doing. Tip number 9, use automatic placements in all genders. Facebook is incredibly smart. They have some of the most smart people in the entire world working on this platform. It can find the optimal placements and genders to advertise to. So you give it the money, let it optimize, and see what it does. Get that data before breaking down and like narrowing ages, genders, placements, and whatnot. So automatic placements is something they're putting a huge emphasis on going forward. They just released something called the Power 5. It's called Facebook Power 5. Type it into Google right after this video and look at what they're placing, the 5 biggest aspects of the ad platform going forward in 2019 and 2020. Automatic placements in all genders is one of them. So if you narrow it too soon, you might miss out on those valuable conversions. Use automatic placements to start, and so you have a ton of data to start really making some educated analysis and whatnot on that. So tip number 9, use automatic placements. Finally, tip number 10, I see people doing this all the time. Don't shut off your ad sets too early. Don't spend $10 and kill it because you haven't made a sale. It takes time for Facebook to optimize. In my mind, in like my metrics, what I do prior to killing an ad set is I allow it to spend 1.5 times my break-even cost per result. So if I'm going for purchases and my break-even cost is $20 per purchase, I let it spend, what is 1.5? So I let it spend about $25 to $30 prior to killing it. And that's prior to making a sale too. So a lot of times people are shutting off their ad sets too early, and you need to look at that initial ad spend as an investment into the data. One thing to note with this too is if you're optimizing for purchases, Facebook wants a minimum of 50 conversions per week to optimize. So if you're not getting 50 purchases per week, it might be better off for you to optimize for initiate checkout or add to cart. This is still going to get you some high quality data. It's going to allow Facebook to start to optimize. It's going to warm up your pixel, as people say. So consider doing a different optimization event. And I do have a video, an hour and 8-minute long course, so completely free course on this YouTube channel. I'll link it down in the description, where I take you exactly in to how I decide what I should be optimizing for, and how I decide really everything in my ad sets, when to kill it, when to scale it, etc., etc. So check that out if that's something that you're not too knowledgeable on yet. So those are my 10 tips. I hope you found a lot of value. If you're a business owner or you own an e-commerce store and you're not finding too much success with Facebook ads, I own a Facebook advertising agency called Multiply Media. I personally run all my clients' ads. I do have a team that makes creatives, takes product photography, and everything like that. So if that's something you're interested in having me do for you, reach out to me. My link to my business website, dylan.business, is in the description. You can find my email on there and reach out to me regarding working together. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.